It's Sunday morning. Nothing is urgent. Nothing is due. And yet, the moment you sit down, it starts. The mental list assembles itself without permission. The emails you haven't answered. The conversation you should probably have. The thing you said you'd fix. The plan you haven't made. The person you should check on. You weren't thinking about any of it. And now you can't stop. This isn't a productivity problem. It's a nervous system that never received the message that it's allowed to stop. Why stillness feels like a threat. For most people, physical rest and mental rest arrive together. They sit down. The brain follows. But for some people, the ones who grew up being the reliable one, the one who held things together, the one who sensed when something was about to go wrong and moved to prevent it. The brain never fully adopted that pairing. Rest for them became associated with vulnerability, with being caught off guard, with the particular kind of disaster that happens when nobody is watching. So the mind stays on. Not because it wants to, but because at some point staying on felt like the only thing standing between stability and collapse. Where it started, this pattern almost never begins in adulthood. It begins in environments where a child had to function as an early warning system, where the emotional temperature of the household was unpredictable enough that monitoring it constantly, quietly, was how you kept things from escalating. Where being responsible, being useful, being the one who didn't add to the chaos meant you were safer, more valued, less likely to be the thing that got overlooked. The brain learned scanning for problems keeps you protected. Relaxing means something might slip through. That lesson doesn't expire when you leave the environment that taught it. It just finds new environments to apply itself to. What it costs. The body keeps the score of chronic vigilance in very specific ways. Sleep that doesn't restore. A low-level exhaustion that doesn't respond to rest because rest never fully arrives. Relationships that stay functional but never quite become intimate. Because you're always managing the dynamic rather than simply being inside it. And underneath all of it, a quiet resentment that builds toward the people you've been holding up. Not because they asked you to, but because the part of you that learned to be indispensable couldn't stop. What actually helps? The nervous system doesn't respond to logic. Telling yourself it's okay to rest doesn't produce rest if the body is still running its old code. What works is smaller than most people expect. Letting something be unfinished without fixing it. Allowing a situation to be slightly messy and not intervening. Noticing the pull to step in. And pausing for 30 seconds before you do. Not because doing nothing is always right, but because the brain needs evidence gathered through repetition that non-action doesn't produce disaster. Every time you let something be and nothing collapses, you give your nervous system one more data point. That safety doesn't have to be earned through labor. Your value was never in how many things you could hold together at once. It was there before the first fire you put out. And it will be there when you finally, slowly, imperfectly learn to put the extinguisher down.